around the beehive thing. And I've missed it because I was at work, and during one of the times when I would be at work, that would be it seemed like everybody was at my house and I would be at work. And I'm like, well, this is fucking weird and I don't really like it. It's not like that so bad now. But during that time it felt like, and I don't know why, I put my perceptions out there with everything else, and it doesn't matter. If you're not making a big deal out of something and you're just talking about it in passing, it doesn't matter. It's not, you're not trying to make the point of that. And I'm not. That's what I'm saying. Because people already have so difficult of a time communicating for one reason or another. You know, I'm not free of it. I'm explicitly pointing it out, but it's a lot deeper of a problem than I think people realize. Because people, yeah, we communicate, we use our words. I'm using my words. What's going on? Why did you stop me? This phone will stop. It'll freeze to the frame. It'll be recording the whole time, but it doesn't reflect that it is on the thing. Anyway, what I was saying, our communication is so, and I really think this is because we were initially telepathic and then got spoken speech language. I think that when we were in a different developmental stage, either as whatever we were supposed to be at the time or something, I think there was an introduction from the outside of the language, and that causes this problems, misunderstandings. This is going on big time, and it continues. People infer things, sometimes not in a way that other people recognize it or can pick up on it. Sometimes things go over someone's head. You don't have to be completely hardcore focused on telling somebody pick the stick up. There's no extra picking the stick up. You could have just picked it up, but there's a way if you mix those modalities together of communicating, you'll fucking lose me. You'll fucking lose me. I won't know what the fuck to do. I won't know up from down. You know, you've knocked my own handle on the matter off, and I'm not effectively able to get it back on till you get yours off. In a way, I notice, and I record all these events. That fascinating, but I think this human life is fucking interesting. It's fucking fascinating as hell. I used to be this child. This is the very 1980s me. Look at this guy in the 1980s. Why'd you bring this outside? To put things out of sorts. It demanded that after that so long with special little place wherever it was. This is a children pictures of me. Do I hold things sacred? Certain things I do. Other things that have occupied sacred space for too long. Special little special little moment in your heart, huh? You feeling a little something about that little special thing, huh? A little special thing, huh? Your little special thing gets all fucked up. You take it out on somebody. I don't like that. That's an arbitrarily diverted emotional mechanism. Oh, there's your special thing. I touch it. Then you're pissed because I touched it. Isn't that too easy of a pathway? That's just like an automatic pathway for that sort of emotion to just discharge in someone, and it to be the way it is. Doesn't matter if you just scooted it over because it was in the way, you've touched it. Look at how infantile our emotional situation is already. I mean, I'm not even talking about for a kid. I'm talking about for goddamn adults. For adults. That doesn't mean that you act upon everything, but there's a price to that though. There's a modification that's occurring. And this is what I'm trying to say is that this sort of energy is on top of and rolled into everything. And in a way, yes, I'm bashing it at. I'm poking at it because the mechanisms of our uh, sympathy and our fucking give a shit and our focus and all the ones that we have to apply at certain times to get um, stuff out of then becomes weaker, ineffectual, as it were. And I'm talking about, right, and my example is sentimental things. You have certain sentimental things, and then look at how vulnerable that sentiment brings those things that you are sentimental over. This is just a look. I don't have any dog in the fight. I'm putting it out there because this is an observation that I've made that I'm drawing the conclusion after a very long time taking it in. And it does seem to reward us when we actively engage the part of our thinking process that's no longer just subject to the automatic. You know, I was listening to some guy talk, I think yesterday, and he was saying all the same. He was talking about the mind control, and he was laying it out, but for some reason he was using the terms all wrong. He was saying that the subconscious part of the brain, it's a part of your mind that it's very loving. I'm like, what in the fuck is this guy talking about? And he was talking about the R complex and said your whole limbic system is located at the back of your skull. I'm like, and that's not truthful. What kind of fucking weirdo? What? That's not correct. Your fucking amygdala's in the back, and it's part of the R complex, but that doesn't mean the whole limbic systems. It may interface with the brain there. I don't fucking know. He was just, his terms were wrong. They were placed in weird places, and you know, it's just a very strange way to get to the same place that, you know, yeah, we get to the same place. And there's a lot of our ways and mechanisms we don't analyze, we're not aware of, we don't give a shit. But if you did look at how much draw of energy you lose towards, different, you know, ideas, sentiment, you know, because that sentimental attachment of your special little thing. Think about your special little thing. And then I touched it because I just found out it was your special little thing and then I touched it. So now you're mad because you disclosed that information. And then what did I do? I took my dirty, how can it be so dirtier than mine? Finger, and I touched your special little thing. The only reason to do that would be to harm you, right? What was the conclusion you have left to draw? What has occurred? Just look at it. I mean, if you look at the way people are with just the loosest of the mind, you know, we're fucking emotional retards and infantile. We don't harness any of that energy for for real forward. momentum at all. We're just sort of surviving it. That your emotions are where you're supposed to draw your power from, and that's true. I don't know. This is just a thought about the things as they are in the world that we are, because it'll always either give you some material that you can reflect upon and draw a very different conclusion of things, or keep on going like you're going and let things just be as they are. Well, I mean, I like to draw the conclusions I can after making long observations and then putting them back in a different way, because in general that does make a difference, and people do find they could use the reserve of their own power back.